Hi, everyone. I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. Quick little update for those of you who listened to the last episode where I mentioned that I had been going next door to my neighbor's house so that she could inject the blood clot medication into me with a needle, and that I wasn't going to do it myself. Turns out that I am doing it myself because what it boiled down to was socializing or stabbing. And I love Janice, but I hate socializing. So I decided to just suck it up and stick myself with a needle every day just to avoid socializing. And it sucks. I mean, I feel a little weird saying this because I have 20 tattoos, but I know there's people out there. You guys have tattoos. You know that there's a difference between getting inked and then getting stabbed with a fucking needle. There's a huge difference. So yeah, I mean, I never thought that I would do that, but that's how much I don't want to have conversations with Janice. And I feel really, really bad for saying that. And of course, I didn't say that to her because that would hurt her feelings. And she's a very nice lady, but I can't do the talking every day. And I still have at least another month of these fucking needles that I have to do every day and to prevent blood clots or whatever. But I'm going to do it because I don't want to talk to another person if I don't have to. So yeah, that's how desperate I was not to talk. Anyways, today I thought that I would touch on, feeling like I'm too much sometimes. And I think it is because I'm autistic is why I feel like other people view me as too much because us autistics, we can be high maintenance. We don't mean to be. I certainly don't mean to be high maintenance. But sometimes I just think to myself I feel like I'm just too much, and not to mention that this was something that people made me feel throughout my whole life. Nothing happened too recently to make me feel this way. I guess I was just doing some processing about this whole surgery bullshit, and I was thinking back to when I was at the emergency room at the VA and how that bitch of a nurse just looked at me like I was crazy. And rationally, I know that I didn't do anything I wasn't supposed to do. I was upset, that's allowed. I was in pain, couldn't help that. When she was a bitch to me, I swore at her. I don't recommend doing that, and I'm not proud that I did that. But, the looks that people give me when, I know that they think that, whoa, what the fuck is going on right now? This is a lot. Those looks get seared into my brain. And sometimes I can't stop thinking about the looks that people have given me, how much those have hurt me, and sometimes how out of control I feel, when I'm in a meltdown, or stuff like that. I know that that's a lot for people to handle, but it doesn't help when people pretty much throw that in your face. I mean, throughout my life, I've been told by various people, including what was my family, that I'm too this, I'm too that. And some of that shit, I'm does it fucking matter? I've been told I'm too organized. And these are all things, just to put it out there, these are not compliments that people have been giving me. When they say things like that, it's it sounds like they have disdain in their voices, or I don't know. they're like in disbelief about some stuff. I don't fucking know, but it's not been like, nobody's ever been like, oh, you are too loud. That's great. Nobody's ever said that to me. But that is something that somebody has said, many people, that I'm too loud. I talk too loud when I'm excited. I don't flap my arms or anything like that, but like people know when I'm fucking excited because like that's the best feeling in the world. And when I feel it, I feel it. And that hasn't sat well with people before. I've been told that I'm too annoying when like I'm passionate about something, usually when it has to do with my special interests. So there's that. Or like maybe if somebody's doing something incorrectly and I'm giving them like the correct way to do it, apparently I am too annoying when I'm trying to explain the correct way to do something, which I don't understand how that's possible. Like, is it just the person who is doing it wrong got annoyed that like they're doing it wrong and I'm showing I don't fucking know. Too stubborn. I have been told that so many times. And I am definitely stubborn when it comes to my values and my morals. There is no budging with those. I've worked with some really shady people throughout my life, and they would try to suck me into their crap, like drama or doing things they weren't supposed to be doing, or like, you know, skipping out on work, just doing shit that like I don't agree with and that I feel is lacking integrity. And you know, apparently I'm too much by the book and I follow the rules to the T, and people don't like that. And so that I've been called stubborn, I've been called stuck up about stuff like that. And I don't understand that. Like for example, I don't know if this counts as being too stubborn. I'm not sure. But what was it, like 2016? This country finally allowed everybody to get married regardless of like, you know, their gender. And up until that point, I had made a promise like to myself that I will not get married until everybody in this country is able to do so, because I felt like, you know, undeserving of the ability to be able to get married. And like back then, I was like interested in like men. That's like a whole thing. I'm not interested in women, but my wife was the exception. But like that was back when like I was dating men and stuff, and I still thought that way because I couldn't believe that there were people that did not have the right to get married just because it made other people uncomfortable. And so I had actually gotten engaged to a guy at one point, and you know, we hadn't even been engaged that long. And he's like, when do you want to get married? And I'm like, well, sorry to say it, but like, you know, I don't really want to get married until everybody can. I don't feel right about that. And he did not like that. And that was just the beginning of me realizing, oh, we really don't have a lot in common. So I left his ass. But anyways, you know, stuff like that. Being too upset. I've been told that like, you know, why are you so upset? Why are you crying so much? Like, is there such a thing as being too upset? Like, I don't get it. Is there such a thing? Like, who's to say you can only be on a scale of like 1 to 10, you can only be at a 4, about this one particular thing, but anything above that, you know, that's going to be a bit too much. Like, who the fuck comes up with this shit? And being autistic and being upset, I mean, that's, you guys know, like when you're upset, that's it. Like that's all you're focused on is what is making you feel that way. Then you're aware of like your behavior. Am I out in public? Are people like witnessing this? You know, like all kinds of thoughts go through my head, but like, I don't feel that there's such a thing as being too upset. Like you can't measure that shit. I've been told I am too perfectionistic. Is that a word? I don't strive to be a perfectionist. This was mostly said to me at places of employment because I took my work very seriously. I made sure my stuff was done correctly every single time. And, sometimes you would be tasked to work on something with like another coworker, and I hated it because people are just fucking lazy, and I would want to do most of the work anyways, and it would end up turning out that way almost every single time. And then the coworker would be like, geez, you don't have to be perfect. Like, why are you so like, detailed about this, and this, and it's unnecessary. And I'm like, we're paid to do a job. This is how you do the job. And I'm not taking shortcuts. Like, I don't get it. Let's see. Oh, how about I've been called like too obsessed? I hate that word obsessed. I use it, but I don't know what other word to use in place of it. And this is like with music, certain subjects, maybe like TV shows, certain foods that I find that I want to keep eating until I get burnt out on them. Like, I get that that behavior looks weird to other people. But why do they give a fuck? It's not like I'm sitting there like doing coke every day or something like that. Like, I don't get like excited and enthusiastic about things that are not good for me. And when people have said that, I'd always think like, do you have a passion about anything? Like, does anything get you excited? Like, because it doesn't seem that like the people who say these things to me, or like they seem like they're fucking robots or something, at least in my experience. It's like, what do you want me to do? Tone down my personality or something? Like, I've been doing that for so many years. Fuck that. I ain't doing that shit anymore. I've been told I'm too eager. I'm too excited. And again, like, how do you measure that? Like, you can't measure that. Like, I kind of can see how some people view that, because like when, for example, my wife doesn't get nearly as excited, or she's very like monotone, and you know, I'm more all over the place compared to her, I guess I should say. And when she gets excited about something, you can't really tell. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not as pronounced as like my excitement is. Like, the whole fucking block or city will know that I'm excited about something, because like it's not often I feel that way, and when I do, it feels nice. So it's weird to me when other people don't exhibit that amount of enthusiasm over something that excites them. So I do understand the not understanding part, I guess, but I still don't think that that's something that should be measured. And does it make people feel uncomfortable when somebody is too excited over something? Like, that's weird. I've been told I'm too quiet. So, again, like, most of this shit occurred when I was working for other people. But it still has impacted me. I mean, this stuff went on for years, but I've been told I'm too quiet. So like maybe one day, like, I'll have a lot to say, and then the next day it's like I'm focused on my work. I have a lot going on. I don't have time to like talk too much if it's not about work. And then people are like, well, you're too quiet. Like, if we'll do staff meetings once a week, maybe I won't really talk in them. And, that's apparently a problem. It's like, I don't have anything to say. Like, I'm allowed to not talk sometimes. Well, why do people give a fuck? Like, I've been in rooms with somebody who like didn't really speak, and I didn't think nothing of it. I just was like, oh, I understand that. Like, don't make people talk if they don't want to fucking talk, and don't like point out the fact that like, oh, you're quiet all of a sudden. I mean, like, if it's really uncharacteristic of somebody, I guess, like, say something, but like the way that it's been said to me, it's just not been nice. Like, fuck you people, man. Sorry. What else have I been told? Oh, you're too polite. You're too nice. You don't need to say thank you all the time. Like, that sounds annoying. Like, somebody did tell me that saying thank you too much was annoying. I forgot to mention that before, but, fuck you too. Like, are you just a bitch? Are you, like, do you not care to just thank people for their time and, like, what they do for you? And, it's just rude not to say thank you. Or if I'm in a bad mood, you're a fucking bitch. Or, like, you seem, like, pretty angry about this. And it just, every time I hear these things, it's like, I'm too much, I'm too much, I'm too much. And, when I had that meltdown at the ER, the looks that I got from people and, like, the looks they gave each other, I was mortified. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm a grown-ass woman having what looks to other people like a tantrum, and they don't know what to do about it. And the worst thing in the world is, like, when they give each other looks, or roll their eyes or something like that. It just makes me feel like a piece of shit. And in those moments, especially, I feel like I'm being too much. And I don't want to feel like that. And I don't know how not to feel like that, because that's just kind of been a running thing throughout my life, just like other things have been. In my opinion, like, I'm autistic. My brain is wired differently. Like, my body is wired differently. Like, I'm going to have reactions that are more pronounced than other people have. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, talking not that great right now, or ever, really. Dry mouth, hold on. Oh. I mean, I'm not, like, trying to make this into, like, a bitchy episode or anything, but sometimes, like, I just, when I'm thinking about things, my mind just naturally drifts toward, like, unpleasant memories, and I don't really like that it does that, but it does. I guess, like, I feel, I guess I feel more accepting that I am, quote, too much. I don't think I'm too much for the people that love me. They don't make me feel like I'm too much. It's all the other people that do. And I am at the age where I can't do that anymore. Like, if I want to fucking run up and down the street because I'm happy about something, I'm going to do it. I don't give a shit what you say anymore. I mean, maybe I do a little bit, but like, that just gets old. And it's just one more thing that makes somebody feel like, I don't know, I don't think less than human is the right way to say. I don't know. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about anymore. I just feel like, sometimes I feel like I'm just too much for people. And it's embarrassing. And I don't know what to do about that. And sometimes I wonder, like, is it them? Is it me? Like, shouldn't I be allowed to experience things however I experience them and display that however I want to display that, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody? I can try to view being too much as, I don't know. Sorry. This just, like, reminds me of, like, growing up and being the odd one in the family. I really do have to get to that family episode at some point. I'm not avoiding it because it makes me sad. I've been in therapy for years. Like, I've worked through that stuff. It's just, like, not pleasant stuff to revisit. You know what I mean? But growing up, like, I was treated like I was too much. Like, if I got too emotional, I got sent to my room. I couldn't come out until I stopped crying. If I got like too excited and I was too loud, I also got sent away until I could calm down and, quote, appropriately express how I feel. Like, what does that mean? Like when I was in school, I loved learning, and people thought that was weird. Like, I was raising my hand all the time. I had questions about everything. And I guess that fell into the category of like weird or annoying or whatever. And it gets to where everything you do, somebody's not going to like. So, yeah, it's just like having to have conformed to society's standards about what's normal and what's not. Like, I am so tired of doing that. And if I'm too much for somebody, then that's not the person that needs to be in my life. Like, that's just how I feel at this point. I'm not that high maintenance, I'm not even really talking about being high maintenance. It's just like being autistic. I feel everything very deeply. I can't help how I feel when I experience those emotions. Does that make sense? Like, if I am upset, like, I have to just experience it how I experience it. I can't control the crying and not crying. Like, if I'm happy about something, I can't tone it down and only show like a little enthusiasm. Like, I'm not wired that way. And I think it's pretty cool that like we get to experience things to the extreme. It's not so fun when it's on the negative side of things, but when it's on the positive, like, it's the best, because I know that people don't feel. There's people out there that just don't feel things the way that I do, and how sad, because like it's just so wonderful. Like when you find a new food that you love and you just want to keep like eating that until like you get sick of it, like that feeling is wonderful because I found something new. It's interesting. I want to learn more about it. You know what I mean? Like there's like all that shit that follows with stuff like that, but yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about this. Right? I think so. Yeah. Again, I think this kind of bounced all over. Sorry if things were disconnected. I'm learning more about my brain every day and how the autistic brain is so fucking different from like ordinary people's brains. And I wish I could talk clearer and slower and stay on topic and make points that make sense and not flit around and get off on tangents. And I really struggle with that, in case you haven't noticed. So I'm sorry if I did that again. But, I was just thinking, like, I haven't really heard anybody else, like, on their podcasts or in their books talk much about, like, feeling like they're too much. Like, at least, like, maybe I'm just a bad researcher. I don't think I am, but maybe, I don't know. But, like, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, so I thought, like, why not? Like, I'm not the only one that feels like this. And I suspect that a lot of autistic people have been made to feel like they're just too much. And you're not too much. You're just right. And if people don't like that, they can just fuck off. Because we don't need to please people anymore. Like, we should be done with that. Like, if somebody gets uncomfortable, if I'm experiencing something a little bit, quote, too intensely, they can just fuck right off, because that's not my problem. And that's how I feel. So thanks for listening. I at least tried to stick to a topic this time, so I hope I did okay with that. Yeah. So words are leaving me now. Okay, so this was just me recording into an app on my phone. Hope that people find me, listen, and relate, and hopefully have a similar experience to the one I had when I heard myself on somebody else's podcast for the first time. If I sounded like drunk or something during this episode, I'm not drunk. I'm not. I'm recording in the morning again, so that's probably what the problem is. I should stick to the evenings. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Okay, goodbye.